No matter what, people will commit to misunderstanding you. What is most important is your commitment to understanding yourself. Hello, you guys. My name is Nkir Kamadani, known as NK, and welcome back to Misunderstood. You feel alone and don't have a lot of friends. This episode was directly inspired by my recent mini crash out on TikTok. I know that sounds dramatic. I was particularly emotional this past weekend. Instead of keeping it to myself, I let everyone know about it. And here we are. What I want to say at the top of this, looking back, I'm so happy I made those videos. It has helped so many people so far. And you might not know what I'm talking about. So let me paint the picture. This past Saturday, I was supposed to hang out with a friend and she got sick. There's nothing wrong with her being sick. We all get sick. The situation highlighted something within me that I have been feeling so deeply. Instead of attempting to rehash the specific videos I'm talking about, I want to include the segment here. So you hear exactly how I was feeling in the moment I was feeling it. Feeling like you don't have friends who you can immediately go to and hang out with and talk to on a regular basis. One of the shittiest feelings ever. My best friends don't even live in New York. Talk to them once a month, once every few weeks, because I get it, we're all busy. One thing that has just been really frustrating in New York is a lot of people say they give a shit, but they truly don't really give a shit about you. I'm speaking specifically about the people who say they want to hang out, say they want to put energy into a friendship, but then I am always the one who ends up giving more, caring more, doing more. These people just blow me off or don't understand how hurtful some of their actions are. It really sucks. This is so vulnerable, but I have one friend in New York that I actually feel so connected to. Everyone else who I've encountered in New York is an acquaintance. Maybe I see them super casually, or just people who just want to drink. And there's nothing wrong with drinking. I drink from time to time, but it's like, I'm not in that era anymore. And I want people who actually give a shit about me and actually want to hang out and talk about substance, have a good time, and it doesn't have to involve getting blacked out. Like, that's what I want, but I haven't found that in New York. It's crazy because it's like, I've lived in New York for 2 years now. It's been so much stress around friendships and feeling like I don't feel at home here because all the people who I have encountered for the most part have not taken friendships as seriously as I. Feels more vulnerable because I am 30 years old and I would have hoped that I would have found more success here in New York with friendships, but unfortunately that is the exact opposite. I moved here not knowing anybody, which that was a big feat in and of itself, but I put myself out there. I'm such a friendly person with a happy energy. There are so many people who unfortunately don't value me in the ways that I know that I should be valued. I'm supposed to hang out with a friend tonight, but she's sick. She is the friend who I really connect with. She's sick. So now I'm thinking, well, I feel lonely. And that sucks. Yes, I can go take myself out. Obviously, I spend so much time with myself all the time. And I know myself so well because of that, which is a good thing. We all should spend a lot of time with ourselves, but feeling the sense of community and feeling like you can lean on people is really important too. This is why I'm so hyper independent, because a lot of people let me down. No, this is not about having too high of expectations for people. It's me putting myself out there repeatedly and repeatedly. It's a shitty feeling. A lot of people don't talk about it, but this is something that more people should. Emotions were high, tears were shed, and I was speaking from the heart. Not too long after posting this, meaning within an hour of posting these videos, the videos were going viral. So many people reached out to me via comments, via DMs to let me know that they feel the same way, that they feel stuck, that they feel sad and lonely and don't connect with the groups of friends that they do hang out with, or just feel lost and alone in the cities and areas that they live in. They feel alone. They don't feel like they have people who they can talk to on a regular basis. When I received all of these messages and all of these DMs and all of these comments, I was completely taken aback because I didn't realize that by me speaking up, other people will resonate. Other people are struggling with feeling alone. Other people are struggling with feeling like they don't have people who they can truly lean on. And I'm talking about real fucking friends. Friends who will go to bat for you. Friends who will actually take care of you if something's wrong. And friends who simply give a shit about you. A lot of us don't have that. And I analyzed my life this past weekend and I thought I don't have a lot of friends in general, but I don't have a lot of friends specifically in New York. I do have one friend who I actually connect with here in New York. Other than that, everyone is an acquaintance and everyone is just a casual friend. Yes, we need those types of friends. Don't get me wrong. Don't misunderstand me here. We need those type of friends. But we also need deep level friendships. And unfortunately, so many people don't want to put in the effort to be that type of friend. So many people are very complacent in their lives and complacent in the situations they are in, to which they don't see the point in cultivating relationships and cultivating deep friendships where there are people like me who crave them, who want them so bad, but know that they are few and far between, which is why we find ourselves suffering in silence. We feel so lonely, and it is such a debilitating, crippling feeling to feel like you are alone. So this episode is for all of the people who feel alone, who feel like they don't have true people in their life. This is for you. I also want to say that so many people are in our group chat now. I have a group chat for this podcast. I started it at the beginning of the year when this podcast went live. I didn't really talk much about it, but I had high hopes for the group chat. I wanted it to become a space that anybody from around the world can come and feel connected to other people who do share the same values, same morals, who do feel the same ways in their lives. When so many people shy away from talking about these quite uncomfortable topics, that is what it is for. That is the space I want to cultivate. I want people to feel comforted. I want people to feel heard. I want people to eventually feel loved and seen by others who care and give a shit. That is why the group chat exists. I'm happy to say, as I am recording this, we have over 100 members in this group chat. You can probably hear it in my voice. I'm smiling from ear to ear. Being open and honest about how I've been feeling on a platform, other people are connecting and other people are finding reprieve from this really uncomfortable feeling of feeling alone. If you want to be a part of this community, you absolutely can be. There are some ground rules. The only real ground rule is that you are a nice, genuine, kind, normal person. That is it. You can be from anywhere in the world. Currently have a New York City subgroup within the group chat for people who live in New York, specifically for meetups. I want this to evolve. I love having people in the online space who I can just talk to regularly, semi-regularly, but eventually I want to meet all of you and I want to find commonalities with you guys. And I want it to be a space where you can meet other people too in real life if you so choose to. But outside of the New York subset, this group chat is for anybody in the world. If you are in all spaces of the planet, you can be in this group chat. It is linked in the show description. I have to approve you. But like I said, if you are cool and normal, we will have no issues. I want to keep the space happy and fun and light and genuine and meaningful. And one thing about me, if you know me personally, you already know I will continue to foster community. I will continue to make sure that the space is happy and positive for others to thrive in. Thought it would be fun to read some of the comments on my TikTok video series. Oh yeah, I didn't really explain the TikTok video series, so let's go back. On Saturday, I filmed first a 3-part series, which you already heard. Then I decided to keep it going. A lot of people were excited to see how I was going to move through the situation. I ended up creating a 10-part series of this TikTok series called You Feel Alone and You Don't Have Any Friends. As I mentioned, I was supposed to go out with my friend that night. It was a Saturday night. I had nothing to do. So part 4 of my video was letting everyone know that I was going to go out solo. I am a strong proponent of solo dates. If you are a YouTube subscriber, you already know. I try to do a weekly activity solo. I spend a lot of time by myself and I have no problem with that. But this particular weekend did make me feel insecure about not having friends to go out with. But nevertheless, I got ready and went out. I did ask the community on TikTok to give recommendations of places in New York that were social and had a good atmosphere. So let me start there. Why not I read some of these off so that you listening, if you're in New York or if you're visiting or if you're traveling solo, you can write these down and refer to this list. I'm actually just going to read these comments straight up. One person said, Book Club Bar is a great place to start because it's not weird to go there alone. Even though it's a reading bar, people are so friendly. For more traditional bars, there is ding-a-ling and waiting on a friend. Another comment said, just saw a girl solo dining outside of Anton's and she looked so at peace. But Bartuzzi, Lartuzzi, Via Carota, then wait at Grove Street Social for time to sit. Another comment, excuse my French, Corkwine Bar, The Tiger are some places I've been to by myself and also see others by themselves a lot and are friendly. And for anyone in Brooklyn, I had a lovely commenter say, as a fellow solo socializing girly, I got you. My personal favorites, Twins Lounge, Lot 45, Bemby, Pencil Category, Berry Park, The Woods, Friends and Lovers. Another comment said, love the bar at the Beekman Hotel. Another comment says Moonflower. Another comment says Fernando's Hideaway. Another comment said, I read at number 7 restaurant in Prospect Heights. Vig Bar in Nolita. I love that place, by the way. Last Lap. Also enjoy that place. And the last suggestion was Henrietta Hudson. I love when people are so genuine and open to helping out and giving recommendations. I know I asked for recommendations, but obviously no one had to give me any. If you're listening to this and you gave me one of those recommendations, thank you so much because you are not only helping me, you are helping so many other people who are listening to this pod. I also want to let you guys know I am kind of doing this particular episode on the fly. I usually write down a little more structure, but I kind of wanted it to be really off the cuff and truly say whatever the heck I want. So the next part I want to talk about is the getting ready process. I think it's really important to lean into the getting ready process if you are going out solo. Keep in mind, even if you don't meet anyone when you're out, it is really liberating to go out solo with that potential opportunity of striking up conversation with a friend, with a guy, whoever. What I did after asking for recommendations is started to get ready. I have a playlist that I made on Spotify. I have to say, it's probably the best playlist it is the best playlist I have ever made. And I think it is also the best playlist on Spotify. You can listen to it and let me know. I will put it in the podcast description. All of the most happy, light, sing-along songs from the early 2000s. It makes me so happy. I was singing and dancing while I was getting ready. I poured myself a glass of wine. I also want to mention here, you obviously don't have to drink if you are not a drinker or if you don't want to drink. I decided, why not? Literally, wine not. That wasn't funny. But I just wanted a glass of wine. I realized I had a bottle of white wine, Sauvignon Blanc to be specific, which is my favorite type of white wine. I had it in the fridge. So I thought, you know what? Let's just kickstart this fun and pour myself a glass of wine, a tall glass of wine, and have fun getting ready, leaning into the process of getting ready, pumping myself up as well. Now let's talk about actually going out. So, as I mentioned, I got a lot of recommendations, but I'm someone who does like to stay in my comfort zone, but also expand my comfort zone from time to time. I did write all of the recommendations down and I will be making my way, but especially because I was in a very emotional state still that evening. So I wanted to go to places that I knew of already before that day. So I started at the Park Gate, which is I started getting 2 slices of pepperoni pizza at Joe's Pizza. Tried and true, love that place. Then I walked over to the Park Gate, which I had never been to, but I have walked by multiple times and has been on my list of places to go in New York. It was very, very crowded, very social around 8:30 p.m. A recommendation for anybody who lives in New York or is visiting. And if you want a social atmosphere, you will absolutely find that at the Park Gate. I went in there to do a lap and pee, and then I went all the way to the bottom of Manhattan to Fight Eye to Dead Rabbit. I've mentioned Dead Rabbit before. The episode right before this. I wanted to see what it was like on a Saturday night. I took myself there, got a glass of wine, sat at the bar for a little bit, walked around. I didn't talk to anybody, but that's okay. I'm telling this story to let you know that it is okay to go out and not talk to anyone. And it is okay to go out and have a really fun social night. Never force anything. I've said this before, but never force a situation, never force anything. I knew that if I was supposed to have a social night, I would have. Going out just further empowered me with things I already knew. I know that I can go out by myself. I've traveled the world solo. I've done so many things by myself with no problem, but I knew that specifically that day that I was feeling this uncomfortable feeling, it was in fact better to get out of the apartment than to stay in it. If I just stayed in the apartment all day that day, I would have sulked. I would have been further so sad and honestly depressed, which isn't helping the situation. Putting on cute clothes, taking myself out, having a nice drink, and going home, that was the break in the tension of the day that I needed. I highly recommend everybody do that. If you are in a shitty mental state or an emotional state, breaking up that tension will do wonders. I escaped for a total of 2.5 hours and I am better for it. Another aspect I suggest if you are feeling alone and don't have a lot of friends is to pour into the activities that you already love. I've talked about running at length on this podcast already, but I am a newfound lover of running. I ran the New York City Half Marathon and I went to my first run club of 2025 this past Sunday. This is the day after I went out solo. I had learned about this run club a few weeks prior. I put it in my calendar. I didn't know anybody, but that's okay because that's how you meet people. You put yourself in semi-uncomfortable situations with good intentions and good results will follow. I can promise you that. I got up, I went to this run club. I met such nice girls. I was doing something that enriched me, something that I truly love, that other people find interest in too. We literally have a shared interest. We all like running. It was such a lovely morning. When I was leaving, 2 of the girls stopped me and said, "I'll see you next week." And guys, I just want to tell you, as simple as that sentence is, in theory, in practice, that meant everything to me. You want to see me again. You want to further a connection in some way, and you hope that I come back, and you hope that I keep on showing up for myself and for this community, this little running community that we have fostered. It made me so happy. I can't even fully express. I almost happy cried on my way home. 24 hours prior, I was crying my eyes out because I was so sad and felt so alone. But I never stopped putting myself out there. I have never stopped. New York specifically has just been really hard for me to make friends that feel like home, make friends that feel genuine. And I'll be honest, in these past 2 years, there have been a lot of times where I have been mentally stuck and have not put forth the effort at times to further a connection after seeing some failed friendships happen. But every single time something shitty happens with friendships, I tell myself, I am worth people's time. I am worth putting in energy to. I am worthy of love. I am worthy of people giving a shit about me. You are worthy of people giving a shit about you. You are worthy of people caring. You are worthy of being thought of and being appreciated. I will continue to go to Run Club, and I will continue to keep on putting myself out there. And back to putting myself out there, the group chat that I have fostered is making me so happy. People are chatting, people are talking about all different kinds of things, from deep level conversations to very light and fun and happy conversations. Every single time I get a message on my phone of a new person requesting to join, as well as getting a notification of a new topic that's being brought up in the group chat, I am smiling from ear to ear. You better believe it. Because I spoke up and because I did something that was extremely vulnerable, crying on the internet, which I've done before, it elicited people tapping in. A lot of people let me know that they have never reached out to people, but what I did impacted them so much that they felt compelled to. And that gives me chills. If I can help someone else feel less alone, you bet your ass I'm going to do it every single time, because I have spent so much time in my adulthood specifically feeling so alone. Honestly, if we really look back, I have felt alone in a lot of eras of my life. But specifically as an adult, trying to navigate this loneliness has been an upward battle. But what I can be so certain of is that this journey to finding my people and this journey to cultivating the community I want and so deserve is possible. I said this in a previous episode, but you have not met all the people who are going to make a defining impact on your life. You have not met all of the people who will make you smile, who will make you belly laugh, who will be there in your darkest hour. You haven't. You have not. I believe in the power of raising your voice. I believe in the power of speaking up, even when you feel scared, because you never know if the person right next to you is feeling the exact same way. I'm hosting weekly meetups for anybody who lives in New York City, who is a member of the podcast, who feels lonely, who feels like they don't have a lot of friends. I'm doing this for me, but I'm equally doing this for you because I want people not to feel alone, and I want people to feel like they have a space that they can be themselves and be comforted in that. The meetups are posted in the Geneva group chat. If you can't make one of the weeks, that is okay, because there will be another one the following week, and another one, and another one, and another one. And I want this to really grow into a space where people will start to feel comforted and will start to feel less alone. I want to share a few comments from the video series that really stood out to me and clearly stood out to a lot of people because they had the most likes on these comments. Someone said, I never want to unintentionally put pressure or burden on the very few close friendships I do have, and it's hard to talk about feeling lonely in friendships. Another person said, in my opinion, self-love is not enough. You can love yourself until you're blue in the face, but having those connections with other people is what completes us as humans. Oh my God, I'm sorry that I'm crying. No, I'm not sorry, because there's nothing wrong with crying, but I'm emotional. Another person said, I hate when people say you need to learn to be okay with being alone. I enjoy my own company and I'm fine with being alone, but it's been years and I really miss having friends. Another person said, as another hyper independent person, I feel you. Thank you for sharing and I hope you find your community soon. Another person said, I pour a lot into people and never really get reciprocated. I don't have a best friend. I feel like I'm always on the outside looking in. Hugs to you. Ugh, you guys, I just want to give everyone a hug. So yeah, it's very clear that so many people are feeling the exact same way. If you are listening to this and if you feel alone, if you feel like you don't have a lot of friends, just know that literally thousands of people feel this way currently. And in that, you are not alone. I'm someone who has big emotions. If you've listened to every single episode of this podcast, you already know that. And if you know me personally, you definitely know that. But I'm learning that big emotions show that you care, and it shows that you have the capacity and depth for more. A lot of people in my life have unfortunately not been able to handle it or didn't care to try. And that is very disheartening. However, I know that my people, i.e., the people who will take my emotions, hold it in their heart, and know exactly what to do with it, do exist. And I will meet more and more people who fit that description. You will meet the people who light you up, who hold your heart in their hands, and will make sure that you feel supported and loved in all of the ways you absolutely deserve to be. And remember, if all else fails, you do have this podcast, and you can come listen to all the episodes as many times as you want. I see you, I hear you, I want to support you, and you are not alone. And with that, thank you so much for listening to another episode of Misunderstood. Please leave a rating and review on Spotify, and remember to follow the podcast wherever you're listening. Another plug for the group chat. You can always find the link to the Geneva group chat in the show description. Hang out with me on my other socials, TikTok, YouTube, Pinterest, and Instagram at NK Madani, and I will talk to you guys in the next one.